Hello, and welcome to the podcast Fly with Mel. If you're an overthinker, a high performer, or simply someone trying to understand yourself better, you are in the right place. Here, we talk about mindset, change of environment, self-love, relationships, and all the real-life messiness that comes with becoming who you are and who you want to be. If you're ready to transform your life, understand yourself on a deeper level, and finally break old patterns, sit tight. I'm Mel, a certified life coach and NLP master practitioner, and I use this platform to share self-reflections and conversations with the people I meet along the way. Because I truly believe that everyone you meet has something to teach you. So take a seat and enjoy the flight. If you're always the strong one, this episode is for you. The one who holds it all together. The one who people can rely on. The one who rarely asks for help. Being strong might look admirable on the outside, but today we're talking about what it really means, where it comes from, and why learning to soften this role can change everything in your life. Being strong isn't just resilience, it's not confidence, and it's not emotional maturity. It is a role. And why do I want to talk to you about that today? Because I've been stuck into that role for a long time. For so many years, I thought I had to hold it all together. I thought I had to be the strong one in the group. I thought I had to provide for so many people, to be the savior in relationships. I was people-pleasing at some point. But I thought that this whole role that I was putting on myself and this pressure on my shoulders were totally normal. I thought that was life. That was it. And I thought I was meant to be designed to have that role. The reality is different. That role was put on me because of past experiences, because of past life, because of past experiences I had in my childhood. I didn't choose to have that role. I just designed it for me because it felt safe at some point. And we're going to dive into that today. Being the strong one is a role where you feel responsible for other people's emotions, where you have to push through instead of posing, and that's what you think you have to do. Being the strong one means that you stay composed, even when you're exhausted. You still go for the things. You still do whatever you said you would do, even if you're tired, overwhelmed. You said you'd do it, so you will, because you have this role in your mind, and that's part of your identity. You minimize your needs because others have it worse. That's the story that you tell yourself. You think that you can do it. You can do it because you are stronger than some other people. And so you minimize all your needs and desires. And with that role, the struggle to receive support without guilt is huge. You cannot ask for help. You think that you have to cope with everything. Asking for help for you is kind of a weakness, and you don't want people to see that. You don't want to share vulnerability with others, because for you, it's a sign that you wouldn't fulfill that role correctly. Strength becomes your identity, not because you choose it, but because at some point it became necessary. That's exactly what I was talking about before in my personal story. I didn't choose to have that role, but it became necessary at some point in my life. And so I became that role. I became that identity. And I became stuck in a role that I didn't even know I was in. Most people don't decide to be the strong one. They really adapt to it. So this role often forms when you grew up in an emotionally unsafe or unpredictable environment, for example. If you were younger and you were really in an unsafe situation, or your family made you feel unsafe, or maybe you had some financial struggles when you were younger and you saw your parents going through a hard time. So you felt emotionally unsafe. You felt that life was unpredictable. That's where your strong one role formed. Maybe you had to mature very early. You had to become an adult too fast, too soon. Maybe you learned that expressing your needs could lead to disappointment or rejection in front of others. Maybe you were praised for being easy, independent, or capable, and you thought that it was what made you worthy of love. So when you heard that, oh my God, you're so capable, you're so independent, you're so good, you're so easy, you're such an easy person. When you hear that a lot, especially when you're younger, you think that this will define your worth. And so you stick to it and you want to show more and more that yes, 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 you are capable because you want to hear even more people telling you that you are. And so strength became a survival strategy. Your nervous system learned that if I stay strong, I stay safe. And that belief worked for a long time until it didn't, until you felt tired so much until you felt exhausted, overwhelmed, and maybe even lost in your life. And maybe that's also why you're here on this podcast today. So welcome. I want to tell you that you can definitely get out of that role if you want to, but it will be uncomfortable because you will have to learn to soften. You will have to learn to open your heart, to open your mind, and to open to others. You'll have to learn to get support, to ask for the help, and to be okay with that. And I'll teach you why this is, in fact, real strength and real confidence when you start to open like this. When you open up and you are vulnerable a little more, suddenly the world starts to trust you even more, to connect on a deeper level with you. And for you, it's also even a nice feeling because you feel that you are not alone in this life. You feel that you can trust other people and be supported, and that no, people won't judge you if you are not capable of doing one thing. People won't judge you if you are not strong all the time. In fact, they may feel even closer to you. And maybe that's exactly what you need right now. What once protected you can later limit you. So the cost of often being the strong one can show up like emotional numbness or disconnection, chronic fatigue or burnout, difficulty of trusting others. As I said before, when you start to finally open up, that's the difference. That's the complete opposite. When you're the strong one, you cannot really trust others. You feel like maybe either they will judge you, either they will betray you, either you are stronger than them, so you don't even need them. You know, you put yourself in a position where you don't even allow anybody to help you. The role of being the strong one can also result as feeling unseen or feeling really unsupported in relationship because you're giving that image of like, I don't need you, I don't need help, I can do it, I'll show you, I'll prove you. People around will think that you really don't need the support. They will not even ask you, are you okay? Are you fine? Do you need anything? Because they will just be like and assume that, yeah, that person is fine. She's fine. Oh, she's resilient. Oh, yeah, she's strong. She's strong. And how many times I've heard that in my back. It's like, oh, yeah, Mel, yeah, she's strong. She'll be fine. Or some people would just tell it to me in my face, like, oh, yeah, but you're strong. That's fine. You'll get there. Yes, you are strong. And no, I'm not saying that you have to completely remove that. You have to keep your strength. But you can definitely keep your strength with a bit of balance. And being strong doesn't mean being against the world. Being strong also means being strong enough to have a support network. Being strong means being open enough to have people around you who can lift you, who can help you go faster and further wherever you want to go in life. That is real strength. That is real confidence. And we're going to talk about confidence in a second. But yeah, having that role of being the strong one can cost you a lot. You can also have resentment for always being the strong one and the one who gives. Sometimes you may have been in a relationship where you feel like it's always one-sided. You are always the one who comes and gives and help and are capable and give it all and give it all and give it all. And so you build internally some resentment because maybe inside you're like, oh, but why is that person not giving me back? Why is that person not helping me the same way I am helping her? Why is this? Why is that? And sometimes it happens even in relationship, in love. Sometimes you are in a relationship with a partner and you're giving it all to that partner. You're giving so much and you want to prove to that partner that you are maybe the independent person. You can do it. You don't need that person. Like it's fine. You're here just for the fun times. But inside, you're building resentment, and maybe you're also feeling lonely in that relationship because you don't leave space for true connection, for trust, for vulnerability, for opening up. In fact, you don't even leave space for things that create real deep connections. And imagine if you do that in a relationship that should be a love relationship. How do you really define love then? Is it just about putting a mask on your face every day? Is it really that? Do you really think that it should feel this way? No. Love is also about softening, is about opening, is about relying on the other person, opening about your needs, your desires, your fears, your doubts, the things you want to do together, your dreams. That is real healthy love. And you can definitely have it. But again, you will have to learn to take that mask off and learn that not being the strong one 100% all of the time is still okay and is still being strong in other area at other and different times. It is fine to find the right balance. It is okay to say, okay, today I don't want to be strong. Today I want to rely on others. Today I want to ask for the help. Today I want to open up. So yes, you are functioning right now if you're with the strong one mindset. Yes, you are capable, but maybe you're not fully alive. And maybe that's why sometimes at night you may feel, lonely, empty, misunderstood by the world. So it is really hard. And really the hardest part, as I said just before, is like people will assume that you are fine all the time because you always look like you are. If you always show the world that you are completely and constantly fine, people will assume that this is you. This is just that. So if you're upset today against the world or against some people and you're like, oh my God, they don't help me, they don't see me, they don't value me, they don't this, maybe just ask yourself, did you allow them to help you? Did you allow them to come to you? Did you allow them to create that deep connection? Did you allow them to see your tears and your fears and whatever you want them to see to help you? Or did you just allow them to create true connection? Because sometimes being the strong one is about sitting here and listening to others and trying to give advice and showing that you know and showing you're capable of whatever and showing that you have all the answers. But you know deep down that you don't have all the answers. You know deep down that you too have doubts. The thing is, you're keeping your doubt to yourself, and sometimes you can find yourself ruminating in your own mind for hours and hours and hours, because again, you choose not to share it with other people who could maybe help you see clearer. And there is also something that happens in the mind when you verbalize things out there, outside, when you vocalize things. If you vocalize things with people that you trust, maybe some magic could happen. Maybe you could really see a clear direction, a clear vision, and maybe you could find the answers easily and finally go to do that thing that you want to do, or, hear about other people's advice that could be really coming from a genuine place and a loving place. But right now, maybe you're not doing that. And so if you're closed and you have that type of armor in front of you, well, the world cannot really come to you, cannot really help you. Is it what you want for the rest of your life? So I know I'm telling you that you will have to learn to be uncomfortable, and it is hard. It is really hard, and trust me, it took me time. Letting go feels very uncomfortable. Letting go of the strong one role doesn't feel freeing at first. In fact, it will feel dangerous because your body associates strength with safety. Your nervous system has learned that being the strong one was being safe. It has learned that from the very beginning of your past experiences. Maybe one time you had to really be strong and it felt safe. Since then, your nervous system is wired this way. So whatever you do that is against that strong one role would feel very dangerous, and your brain would send you an alarm and you will feel maybe anxious and stressed inside. And, it's like your chest is going to be like, oh my God, I need help. Should I really tell people? Should I really? No, I should not. I don't know if you see the vision here, but It tend to happen. It happened to me in the past. I used to be like, in groups of conversation with other friends, and I would hear people sharing their fears, their doubt, and everyone helping each other, listening, and I would be stepping up and telling, giving advice as I love to do. Yeah. And sometimes, you're the one who can give advice to a lot of people, but you cannot even take these advice for yourself, right? And it happens. It's human. It's fine. Nobody's perfect. But you don't have to live that way your whole life if it doesn't feel right anymore for you. If you're listening to this episode right now, take it as a sign for you that it is possible to change and to feel better every day and to feel supported, and how good it feels to be supported. Again, it doesn't mean you're not strong anymore. It just means that you're strong enough to trust other people and to trust the world. Again, of course, when I'm saying the trust the world, don't trust people when you don't feel it, okay? Your intuition is still good at this point, and it's just about opening up bit by bit whenever you feel it. And don't close your heart at the first thing that doesn't work. If tomorrow you tell me, yeah, I open up to that person and in fact she betrayed me, that's it, I'm done, I don't want to do it. No, it doesn't work that way. It's like anything in life. You will have failures, but you will also have a lot of wins. And just trying to feel that feeling of not being alone anymore and feeling supported, I want you to feel that. I want that for you, because this is an unmatched feeling, right? I know that today, if I tell you to rest, to pause, to stop being productive for a bit, to stop performing for a bit, you will think that it's lazy, right? You will think that asking for help feels weak. You will think that slowing down feels like losing control. This is why change isn't a mindset shift. It is really a nervous system recalibration. You're not afraid of being weak. You are afraid of being unsupported. I'll say it again because this is a strong one. Deep down, you are not afraid of being weak. You're afraid of being unsupported. And there is a difference between survival strength, which is rigid, exhausting, feeling lonely, and grounded strength, which is flexible, embodied, supported. That's the difference I wanted to make earlier when I was telling you you're not going to lose your strength, because grounded strength allows boundaries without guilt. It allows rest without any shame. You will rest even for a day if you want to, without feeling ashamed, without feeling that, oh my God, I am so weak, I am so lazy, I didn't do anything right now, and la la la. Yeah, because also being the strong one, usually it means that you have a lot of negative thought in your own mind because you're talking to yourself like very bad, because you want to really kick yourself up all the time to keep up with that role that you did stick with for so many years. Grounded strength allows support without collapse. It allows vulnerability without losing yourself. You don't lose strength by softening. In fact, you reclaim it. So how do we begin to change this role, you may ask? Change starts with awareness, not force, not pushing, no. It just starts with being aware. So, okay, let's try to find some very gentle shifts, because again, you're not going to change that role from one day to another unless you're very ready to be uncomfortable and to change it, to transform. And I wish that for you 100%. But here are a few gentle shifts. The first one is maybe notice where you override yourself. When do you say yes while your body says no? When do you say yes to other people, to plans, to projects, to parties, to whatever you want, while your body is screaming you, no, I can't, I'm tired, I don't want, this doesn't feel aligned with my values. So notice that. Really, notice where you're really in conflict, inside, in internal conflict, and pause. Then the second thing would be practice receiving in small ways. Okay, so really let someone help you. Let someone help you without explaining or compensating or having to justify yourself that you just needed that help because whatever. No. Sometimes you can hear some people who are like, oh yeah, I don't really need your help, but okay, well, you know what? Because you wanted, just give it to me. That's fine. No. receive it, embrace it. It is okay to be helped. It's fine. And also sometimes think about how good you feel when you help someone. Why don't you want to allow that other person to also feel that way by helping you? Embrace that feeling. So practice receiving in small ways. The third gentle shift would be to maybe redefine strength. Maybe let's start back from the beginning and redefine strength. What means strength for you? Okay? But keeping in mind that strength isn't endurance. Life is not a race. Life could end tomorrow. Okay? I don't wish it for anyone. But this is the reality. Strength isn't endurance. It is honesty. The fourth gentle shift would be to create safety before vulnerability. Choose who you want to open up with intention. Trust your gut, trust your intuition. Your intuition led you to where you are today. You can definitely rely on it to be like, okay, you know what? I think that person, I can trust her and I can open up a bit. And I'm not saying you have to open up and start to suddenly share your whole life and all your things and whatever. No, start with small things and see how you feel. See how that person in front of you receives it. See how the exchange, results. But most of it, I want you to really sit down and feel how good it feels to trust and to create connection that is on a deeper level. It's not surface level connections right now. As long as you're opening up and as long as you're starting to be a bit vulnerable with someone, you will see that there is a shift of energy internally that could be like, oh my God, it feels good to not have to load all that pressure and to keep that whole load of pressure just for me. It feels good to just share a tiny bit of whatever is going wrong right now. And sometimes, again, when you share it loudly, you may feel that, oh, in fact, I feel lighter just by sharing it with someone. And maybe that person that you trust will have the great words, will be genuine, will be compassionate, will help you, or will just be here to listen and hold the space. And maybe that's exactly what you need right now, just someone to hold the space, because your head has been tired to hold the space for so many years, and it was not really holding the space. It was like holding a space for rumination. And the fifth gentle shift that you can start to do today is to allow discomfort. Growth will feel unfamiliar, and that doesn't mean that it's wrong. Okay. So if you start to open up a bit, if you start to notice that notice a bit your body when you want to say no and you say yes, and like all these kind of little shifts that I just mentioned, it will feel uncomfortable because it is new. Your nervous system is not used to it. It will feel like it's danger. Your brain is trying to protect you. It protected you for so many years, and now you're trying to rewire it completely. So it's like, oh my God, where are you going? Hang on 1 second. What are you doing right now? What are we doing? What are we doing? So trust the process if that's the transformation you want today in your life. Trust that this discomfort that you may feel at the beginning will ease with time. And trust that this discomfort will, at the end, eventually feel comfortable. Okay? For me, if I talk about my personal story, it took me time to start to open up to people. But the more I did it, and the more I realized how much stronger I felt when I could see the support network, in fact, I had around you. How strong I felt when I could see some friends really here to support me, to help me, to hear me, to listen, to hold the space whenever I needed. I felt stronger. You know what? I felt rich. I felt that this is my wealth. It's like, wow, I don't feel alone anymore in my head. I know I can rely on others, and I know it's fine because it feels good. And how many times I relied on others and I opened up and I cried and I shared my doubts and fears, and how many times this helped me to finally see clearly, to finally, it was kind of a guidance. These people would guide me or would just be here for me whenever I would need. And I wouldn't have to just rely on myself, because it is exhausting to rely just on yourself. It is tiring. You cannot do that forever. And if you want to do it, but don't ask yourself why you're burning out whenever you feel that you're like, oh my God, I can't anymore. I'm going to burn out. I don't want that life anymore. Like all these thoughts that can come up. Yeah, maybe because you are putting that on yourself. Nobody asked you to do that. Because who asked you to put all that pressure on your shoulders? You. Yes, maybe life asked you to do so whenever you were, younger, or past experiences made you really rely on yourself at one specific time of your life. But that doesn't define your whole life. So why do you want to keep that role and that mask forever? Yes, of course it hurts to be betrayed by someone, to be rejected, to think that, to be abandoned, for example. Of course it hurts. But does it mean that the whole world is going to act the same way towards you? No. And you know it. You know that it's not true. If you want to open up to the right people, you will and you can. Yes, you will have deceptions, there will be failures, but again, it doesn't define your whole life and all the different connections you may do and you may have. So being the strong one kept you safe for a long time, but you don't need to survive anymore. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to need. You are allowed to be held. Because true strength isn't about carrying everything alone. It's about trusting that you don't have to. I have one last question before closing this podcast. Where in your life are you still being strong? And when could you be supported from now on? I hope you enjoyed. Take care. Thank you for listening to Fly with Mel. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, share, and leave a review. It will really, really help me to reach more people who need to hear these messages. And remember, the power to change your story is already in you.